Hi there, this is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist, and welcome to the teaching of talking. I'm out for my morning walk, and this particular video is going to be about the benefits of conversation as a method in speech therapy. Now, we all know that in traditional speech therapy, there's a concept called carryover, and carryover is a term which means that the speech that you're working on to change is starting to become automatic. So you work on talking, you work on conversation to help the new habit develop automatically into the process of speaking. And so I found early in my career that a conversation was an excellent way to help stabilize new speaking habits. Now, of course, there are some necessary drills that may be important along the way. And so there are traditional methods of speech therapy that still work very well in the correction of speaking difficulties and in the process of helping those with aphasia. This particular video is about using the ability to converse as a method for speech therapy, even early on in the process, if an individual can repeat sounds and words. So let's think about it for a minute. Conversation means an interaction between two people, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. If you look at any telephone conversation that you have on a daily basis, you know that it starts with a hello and a how are you and all of that. And people just keep going back and forth in conversation. And that's what talking is. Talking is also, before the GPS, if you went into a town and you didn't know where the bank was or you didn't know where the good restaurant was, a lot of times you'd stop somewhere and you'd ask somebody. So you'd ask somebody a question, they'd tell you where to go, and then you'd make sure that you clarified that and understood the directions, and then moved on. So if you look at just about any interaction, there was a mother the other day who works with her son, and every day she wakes him up and says good morning, and she stimulates a good morning from him, and then she asks him, did you sleep well? And he says, yes, I slept well. And that's a conversation. It's a back and forth. It's like a tennis game. Somebody serves the ball to the other side, the other person hits it, they hit it back, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's pretty simple. That's a pretty simple description of what conversation is. And what I'm saying with the teaching of talking, and what I've learned through 46 years of doing speech therapy and specializing in aphasia and helping people talk again, that it's this back and forth interaction that is necessary to help people get back to conversation. In fact, you know something? One of the things I just realized is that people who have aphasia, they want to talk, but they also want to converse. So we ought to call this the teaching of conversation, because that's what talking is. And I think a lot of people have it wrong. And where I think people have it wrong is that they'll work on word lists, and they'll work on the days of the week, and they'll work on the numbers, and they'll work on singing happy birthday, and they'll work on, just a ton of things. But many do not work on the process of conversation. And conversation is talking. Not saying the days of the week, not saying the months of the year, not saying I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but if I only had a certain amount of time, let's say, and I knew that I only had a certain amount of time, and this is another thing that clinicians need to realize, as well as family members, is let's use our time optimally. Yeah, let's use it optimally. And let's use our time to work on the things that are going to make the most difference to individuals with aphasia. And my point is that conversation is talking. So if talking is conversation, and conversation is talking, then why aren't we doing that in the therapy environment? Now, I'm not saying everybody's not doing it. I'm saying that there are a lot of clinicians that I've gotten letters from who are doing similar procedures as the teaching of talking. And so there are a number of clinicians who are on the right track when it comes to working with people who have aphasia. Now, people with aphasia have difficulty talking. Let's use another word. People with aphasia have difficulty conversing. So if you have difficulty with conversing, then you work on conversing. I'm trying to break this down to a very, very simple level. If you have difficulty conversing, you work on conversing. So that's my point. I don't think, for a lot of people, and especially, I don't think iPads and flashcards and workbooks, they're okay as a supplement, but they're not. And I repeat, not the mode that you need to go down, that you need to focus on if your person isn't talking. Because you can't talk to an iPad. You can't say good morning. You can't say how are you. So that's my point. The therapy procedures that I believe will help people with aphasia the most are those therapy procedures that are based on conversation, because conversation is talking. It's not repeating words. It's not singing phrases. It's not singing happy birthday, or anything else for that matter. Although singing has been shown in some cases to be helpful for those who have speaking difficulties, but in my estimation, not for severe to profound speaking difficulties where you have to address articulation, voice, rhythm of speech, speed of speech, all these things that may need to be addressed either together or separately. This is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist. Today, helping you realize, and helping me realize, that talking is conversation. Conversation is an interaction between two people. That's what I believe we should be doing from the very beginning with those who have aphasia and those who can say at least single words. Now, if they can't say single words, you've got to develop a program or follow our recommendations regarding apraxia of speech, which is a totally different speaking difficulty that people with aphasia have. And we have ways to help people with aphasia and apraxia speak better. This is Mark Ittleman, speech-language pathologist. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to get regular videos and blogs from us, go to teachingoftalking.com. And when you go to the website, at the bottom of every page are two bars. One is a bar that says to press here and you'll get free videos and blogs. And the other one is press here for a questionnaire. And if you want to speak to me or you have a challenge with aphasia, and if you'd like to consider talking with me, free consultation, you can schedule that. Or first, fill out the questionnaire and send it to us. And if I think you'd be a good candidate for the teaching of talking, we'll contact you and set up an appointment. If not, I'll make a recommendation to you of what you may need to do, because not everyone is going to be a good candidate for teaching of talking due to a number of factors. And finally, for those of you who have speech pathologists or those of you in the speech and hearing profession, we're offering certification in the teaching of talking method. This is a method that will greatly enhance a speech therapist's ability to help people with aphasia speak better. You know, it took me years and years to develop the techniques of the teaching of talking, and that was after years and years of being dissatisfied with what I had learned at the university level. I mean, it was very helpful, it was theoretical, but it took the practice to develop the expertise. And what I did when I left hospital work is I wrote a book and I created a video course, and now I'm offering mentoring. And in this way, speech therapists don't have to practice for 5, 10, 20, 30 years before they really understand a very complex speaking difficulty. And you can learn what I've learned in a very short period of time. That's called modeling. And you'll be able to get way ahead in your experience by being mentored or reading books like The Teaching of Talking, or taking the online Teaching of Talking video course. This is Mark Ittleman, speech language pathologist. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and also get on our mailing list. Send me a questionnaire if you're interested in learning more about what you can do to help your loved one with aphasia. And on that, I'll say goodbye and be well, and I'll see you soon.